exactly 4 p.m. here in the capital. Welcome to News Now, where we tell you all the stories that have been making headlines so far. My name is Hibaq Said. To start us off, the United Opposition Alliance has threatened to hold street protests if the Inspector General of the National Police Service does not take action on suspects implicated in the Witima ACK Church attack last Sunday. Now, the opposition principals spoke outside Jogo House, where they held a lengthy meeting with the leadership of the National Police Service after walking through the city streets from a city hotel. The opposition principals, with the exception of Jubilee Deputy Party leader Fred Matiang'i, said they will return to Kanja's office in 2 weeks' time to follow up the matter. Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, alongside the opposition leaders, further claimed a covert police unit known as Sierra Squad was sent to Nyeri to assassinate him.
We have told the IG that before we come back on the 16th, those members of that unit need to be arrested and disarmed and taken to court, and he must give that assurance. And we have said that if this situation continues after 16th, hatutakuwa na lingine la kufanya ni kuitisha maandamano katika Jamhuri ya Kenya.
We have given them up to the 16th to specifically deal with those items, 23 incidents, and there are even more, where the police have not only been complicit, but they have actually actively participated in lawlessness aimed at assassinating national leaders, and more particularly, Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua.
We want demonstrable action within the next 2 weeks, so that when we come back on the 16th, if there is nothing to demonstrate, that we are back to the rule of law, to obeying the Constitution, then as Kenyans, we know we are on our own and we can take the next step.
Entering an election year, and democracy can only be exercised when we have strong institutions and where we have a secure environment.
Now, the Supreme Court has dismissed any attempt by former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua to stop ongoing High Court proceedings challenging his impeachment. Gachagua had asked the Apex Court to strike out the National Assembly's appeal and remove certain documents from the record in its ruling. The four-judge bench clarified that under Article 163 of the Constitution, the Supreme Court can only stay proceedings before the Court of Appeal. Now, the High Court and the judges therefore rejected all of Gachagua's requests, allowing the High Court case to continue. And candidates vying for the position of Vice President of the Law Society of Kenya have pledged to ensure full respect for the Constitution. During a debate organized by the Federation of Women Lawyers, FIDA Kenya, candidates Ajuang Deborah Andit, Wanjeri Elizabeth Wangui, and Nicholas Elizabeth Wangui highlighted concerns over widespread violations of the law and court orders, saying this has eroded public confidence in governance institutions.
As a member, we have been able to push for inclusivity of female appointment in the boards, not just at the national office, but also at the branch level, because branches usually have opportunities to also nominate females in the boards that they usually push it to the National Council for ratification.
Because we have lawyers who volunteer their time to do pro bono cases, but sometimes we find even the process, of remunerating them or giving them the small token, there's delays and they're not remunerated accordingly. And pro bono lawyers, and we cannot serve the society without pro bono services. So that's one, the funding and the processes. The processes, we need to actually engage our stakeholders, including our funders and also the judiciary.
And Ugandan General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, son of President Yoweri Museveni, has issued a public apology to the United States following calls for sanctions of alleged human rights abuses during Uganda's disputed 2026 general elections. In a statement released on Friday, January 30th, Muhoozi said he had deleted his earlier tweets, admitting he had been misinformed about remarks that drew international condemnation. According to the Uganda People's Defense Forces, the apology was made after his comments strained ties with key partners, including the United States. Uganda's embassy in Washington also intervened, with Ambassador Adonia Ayebare confirming that the matter had been resolved and stressing that relations with the United States remain a priority. The apology followed remarks by U.S. Senator Jim Risch, chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, who urged President Donald Trump to impose sanctions on Muhoozi over reports of election-related violence in Uganda. We will be bringing you details of that story. However, now residents of Likoni in Mombasa County have had an easier access to affordable shopping after Quickmart supermarket opened a new outlet in the area. The Likoni store comes as Quickmart's 66th branch nationwide as the retail chain continues to expand its footprint across the country. The new outlet is expected to boost convenience for residents while also creating employment opportunities for locals. Quickmart management says the expansion is part of its strategy to bring quality products closer to communities and support local suppliers. The Likoni branch will serve thousands of households in the area, further strengthening the company's presence at the coast.
We say this.
Saa hii itakuwa ni rahisi kwenda kukuja hapa supermarket kuliko mambo na kuvuka town. Ilikuwa ni shida kuvuka feri, kufinyana na watu kule, lakini tumefurahia sana kwa Quickmart kukuja hapa Likoni.
Napenda kuambia watembelee Likoni Quickmart, waone bidhaa za hapo ziko na nafuu kidogo.
Yeah, with Quickmart Simona, the prices are very okay. They are having offers zenye zinaran.
Now, at least 68,000 early childhood development education learners in 697 centers are set to benefit from a free milk feeding program launched today by the Kisii County government. The county has also begun construction of a milk processing factory, which will supply milk to ECDE schools and enhance value addition for dairy farmers. Governor Simba Arati said all PP1 and PP2 learners in public institutions will receive milk. He noted that the project is intended to support farmers by reducing losses from selling milk at farm gate prices and to ensure pupils continue their studies with adequate nutrition.
And before you today at this ground to mark a true transformative moment for the great county government of Kisii. This is not just a groundbreaking. It is breaking over new ground for our economy, our environment, and the future of our children. Today, we lay a foundation stone for the Kisii County Milk Creamery, a project that stands as a testament to our commitment to value addition, economic empowerment, and climate resilience.
Now, the Kenya Rugby Development Academy, KRDA, has launched the DigiAI Bus, a mobile digital learning initiative aimed at bridging the digital divide by providing hands-on access to computers, internet connectivity, and digital skills training for learners in underserved communities. Launched at the RFUEA grounds in Nairobi, the solar-powered bus will be stationed at public primary schools in Nairobi and Kiambu counties without computer infrastructure, offering training in ICT, digital literacy, artificial intelligence, and robotics, all aligned with the competency-based curriculum. KRDA co-founder and CEO James McGreevy said the initiative will fast-track learners' readiness for the global digital economy through customized AI-driven learning. The program is supported by partners including the Atlas Foundation UK and Code Yetu, which provides coding and personalized AI curricula integrated into CBC. Beneficiaries such as Stephen Blumo say the skills gained are already being shared with peers as KRDA calls on government and other stakeholders to support efforts to create inclusive and equitable digital learning opportunities.
DigiBus, the Digi AI bus, was born out of a transition of moving from rugby to education to then evolving with the economy. So with the digital economy, we realized there were a set of skills that we had to introduce to our players. And the Digi AI bus looks to address those. We're delighted to now partner with Konza Technopolis, Kiambu County, and really get this vision underway. As we don't want just one bus, we want to start with 7, get the 7 regions of Kenya, and then we want to move to 50 buses. Now I know there's not 50 counties in Kenya, but we need 3 reserve.
We make sure that all the kids, regardless of their background, have access to computer science education. So we're partnering with King's Rugby Development Academy to make sure that we've structured the program to meet the current curriculum of CB.
Right. Now, Hotpoint Appliances Limited has opened a new branch in Diani, marking a strategic step in its expansion program aimed at bridging services and bringing services closer to customers. The move goes beyond delivery, with the company emphasizing strong on-the-ground relationships with customers and a more personal service experience. Hotpoint says the new outlet will focus on enhancing its unique customer service approach, with local residents and consumers taking top priority as the brand deepens its presence at the coast.
For the last couple of years, we've been very intentional about where we want to put our outlets and where we want to reach our customers. And this actually aligns in our strategic goals, which is the expansion program. It's reach as many customers as you can strategically, and just to speak to every customer who knows Hotpoint and who wants to be associated with Hotpoint at the closest proximity as possible. Hence Diani. I mean, most of the Diani customers have been going to Likoni, so of course you lose a bit customers who cannot be able to cross. So coming to Diani is very strategic for us.
So as Cape Media, TV47, Radio 47, we are really privileged to partner with Hotpoint in their grand opening of their 13th branch. And we also want to request other partners who will be willing to work with us and give us business in future to partner with us, and they are welcome to do business with us.
Let's get sporty. Nairobi is bracing for a blockbuster night of punches and pride as Kenyan boxing heavyweights Rayton Okwiri and Fatuma Zarika take center stage at the much-anticipated Nightmare in Nairobi, set for Mass House Arena at Ngong Racecourse. The explosive fight night marks the second edition of Kalakoda Boxing, a growing platform that is fast reigniting the country's rich boxing tradition. Promoted by Kalakoda in partnership with the Kenya Professional Boxing Commission, and the event underlines a renewed push to restore Kenyan boxing to the continental and global spotlight. Fans will be treated to a mix of proven champions and rising prospects, headlined by the return of Fatuma Zarika, Kenya's first ever WBC female world champion, alongside seasoned campaigners such as Thomas Wasike. Organized in collaboration with TV47, the showdown promises a high-octane showcase of local talent and a bold statement about the revival of professional boxing in Kenya.
Wa Kenya, kama kuna Mkenya yote anajiona ama anajifeel yeye ni heavyweight kunishinda, nampatia hii challenge. Akuja been holding this title since 2015. There's not any other Kenyan that stood up with me since then up to now. Wanaogopa wakisikia ni Morris wanaingia chini.
Ni win tu manze. Train to win, train to lose. Yeah, we are training to win.
First of all, I'd like to thank God for another great year He has granted unto us. About the preparation, I can say that we haven't just been preparing for the second edition, but we are always ready.
It's once you've been boxing for a while, you know what you got to do. It's getting fit, getting strong, sparring, loads of rounds, maintaining the weight. I think preparations are going better this time than last camp. Last camp weight took a while to get the weight down, but now we're flying. feeling good, feeling ready, excited.
Interesting boxers as the first one, and we'll keep on bringing more on board. But saizi focus yetu ni kwa the next show, which is on 27th of Feb hapo Mass House.
Right, and that concludes our bulletin this afternoon. Thank you so much for being a part of News Now. Be sure that these stories and many more are to be updated in our subsequent bulletins. My name is Hibaq Saeed. Have yourselves a very lovely Friday afternoon.